Councilman Camilleri.
Here.
Councilman Conti.
Here.
Councilman Halco.
Here.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Here.
Council President Samaluka.
Here. Please rise to salute the flag. Remain standing, please, afterwards for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Having a moment of silence for firefighter Gregory Barnes, is a Wallington captain and a Jersey City captain who died in the line of duty. Thank you all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members on February 28, 2014, and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during the meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
We have some presentations tonight, and one of the first things we're going to do, we're going to call on the mayor. We have 3 new officers for Saddlebrook Police Department, and the chief is here, also, and the mayor, and we have our public safety director, Mr. Arminio, is here. So I'll leave it to the mayor.
Thank you, Council President. We have new mics. It's like having new toys. So green light means go, red light means off. So I'm going to ask everybody to, if you need to speak, I'll hand one of the mics to you. Just make sure this light is green. At this time, I'm proud to announce we have 3 new officers that came out of the academy on the road, and now we have 3 new officers who will be joining Saddlebrook officially after March 24th when they leave the Hudson County Sheriff's Department. So I thought it would be nice this evening to swear them in and introduce them in March, because they'll be on the job when our next public council meeting comes. And at this time, I'd like to invite the police chief, our public safety director, Lou Arminio. And do you have any words you'd like to say before we swear our officers in?
We don't have a few words to say, but if I can just indulge a few minutes here, I want to take the opportunity to thank the women in history, all the women that are here tonight. Thank you for everything that you do for our community. It's always been a wonderful month and a wonderful time of year when women are recognized. Because behind all of us guys who are standing up here, always a good woman that stands by us. Tonight, I'm proud to introduce 3 new police officers for our township. The mayor asked me a while ago, to help with the police department in expediting our police force, knowing that we're short some police officers. So we took the initiative to really scour the state of New Jersey to bring police officers here to Saddlebrook. And we chose what we call the lateral transfer program. That means that we were looking for police officers from other municipalities to come here with their experience so that we can get them on the road as quickly as we possibly can. It's not to negate our civil service test or our applicants that we have coming in the next cycle, candidate cycle, but these 3 officers, I have to tell you, the chief, myself, the deputy chief, we spent hours, days, months. We interviewed probably close to 40 candidates before we chose the 3 to come here to Saddlebrook to join our family. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome the new officers, and I asked them, Erwin, Ada, Adam, to please step up. Norma, please, so that we can introduce you. There's going to be a lot of kids, and there's going to be a lot of people to look up to this guy, Adam. He comes from the Hudson County Sheriff's Department, as they all do, but they come, each and every one of them come with a very unique experience. In court, where Adam was assigned, he not only had domestic violent issues, but he had a whole array of people come before him and before the judges that he served to protect. We got Erwin here, who started, I guess, his career early on in biology. I think you were a biology major at some point in time, so he brings a little science and a little diversity here to the Saddlebrook Police Department. But he's got experience, road experience, and he's got a lot of experience from Hudson County, which, as many of us know, is very densely populated, and it's a very big county to work in. Norma, I can tell you that she was one of the first that I interviewed. Each and every one of them impressed us. As I said before, the chief and I and the deputy chief probably have close to 100 years in law enforcement. My whole career has been in law enforcement and still is today, working with law enforcement. And we chose these three people, and we're proud to bring you over to Saddlebrook. You're going to enjoy your time here in Saddlebrook. Our community is going to welcome you. You're now going to be part of the Saddlebrook family, and we're all family. We're proud to have you here all this evening, so I can introduce myself to you and introduce you to the community. I'd like to now turn this over to the chief, for the chief to say a few words as well in the process.
Well, thank you so much. First of all, I want to welcome, in order, Norma, Adam, and Irving, because that's the way we hired them. They basically come out of a competitive market of about 40 police officers statewide. Deputy Chief, please join me. A little bit late, we'll just highlight that a little bit. But they basically come from a crop of about 40 candidates across the state, all the way down from Atlanta County, all the way up here into Bergen County. And basically, like Lou Domenio told you, we hire what's called by way of the lateral transfer program, and basically another civil service agency can transfer their officer to our agency without competitive testing. And what we did is we looked at the resumes and backgrounds of these applicants, and basically because our investigators couldn't do their job, that's why they're being hired. And it sounds a little funny, but the mission of a background investigator is to eliminate the applicant. Eliminate the applicant because of discipline, because of something in the file that's going to be a problem for our community. And they weren't able to do that, so they didn't complete their mission. Therefore, these candidates are the very best of what's out there. And that's why we have Norma, Adam, and Irving here to join the ranks of the Saddlebrook Police Department. We welcome them. They come at a great time. Our department was understaffed for many years. We need these complement, and another 4 to 6 weeks from now, they'll be, at the end of their field training officer program, joining the ranks of Saddlebrook's finest, and more importantly, serving the needs and the services of all of us in our community. So, on behalf of Deputy Chief Bob White, myself, and all the members of the police department, we'd like to welcome them and their families to the community of Saddlebrook.
At this time, Norma, we'll have you come forward with your honey, and I guess we'll spread over this way so she can be center stage, particularly in Women History of the Month. Chief, Deputy Chief. Okay, Norma, if you will repeat after me. Hand on the Bible.
I, Norma Ado, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and the laws of the State of New Jersey, the ordinances of the Township of Saddlebrook, the rules and regulations of the Department of Police,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
And that I will bear true faith
And I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the government
and to the government
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and will perform
my assigned duties
as police officer
for
for
the Township of Saddlebrook, faithfully and impartially and justly
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Officer Norma.
Okay, if you could just sign here, please.
This is a nice time to have a swearing in of our second female officer to the Saddlebrook Police Department. So, women in history, you've made it. Thank you. Okay, it's our big guy's turn, Adam. And this is his wife, who will be holding the Bible.
I, Adam Georgaris, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and the laws of the State of New Jersey, the ordinances of the Township of Saddlebrook, rules and regulations of the Department of Police and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, and that I will bear truth, faith, allegiance to the same and to the governors under the authority of the people, and will perform my assigned duties as police officer for the Township of Saddlebrook faithfully, impartially, and justly to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations and welcome. So as the council was talking earlier, Adam is the second tallest in the department, correct? We have Officer Maneri. And I think we retrofitted a car.
As long as he doesn't make more than me, Mayor.
He's got a while to catch up. It's in the contract I signed off on, the minimum and maximum, so we're doing good. But welcome to Saddlebrook, truly. It's a wonderful town. Thank you. Okay, now we have Irving and his wife, and he's here with his mom and his two sons in the front row. I welcome them to come up, but the invitation's still open, but if you're bashful and want to play camera, then we can do that, okay? Oh, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Irving's wife is also a sheriff's officer, so they're really keeping public safety in the family. Thank you, God, for that. So you're Women in History Month, too. See that? Another female out there.
Give you this. I'll get the Bible.
Okay. I, Irving Gutierrez, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and the laws of the State of New Jersey, the ordinances of the Township of Saddlebrook, rules and regulations of the Department of Police, and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, and that I will bear truth, faith, and alliances to the same and to the governments under the authority of the people. I will perform my assigned duties as police officer for the Township of Saddlebrook faithfully, impartially, and justly to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations and welcome. I believe this concludes our swearing in of the officers, and they will be in touch with our department people here, and they've been formally introduced to the council earlier. So God bless, stay safe on the road, good luck to you, and God bless your families too. Hope the families come back into town and join us for all our events, because we're a great family community. And I think now Council President's going to...
We're going to take a 2-minute break, just in case anyone wants to leave, and we'll shift some bodies around.
has already heard, and I just got a lesson from Anthony Halco, who's in charge of voluntarily securing the modern technology for these mics. So I was told I can't hold it up here, I have to hold it down here. So anybody who's going to speak tonight, that's our first lesson learned, because I made the first mistake, so whatever. But as most of everyone knows, there's Women in History Month is the month of March. Well, we have all Saddlebrook residents here, proud to say. So I'll be calling those up. We have groups, and then we have individuals. I'll be calling the groups up. Please come forward. If Kim Carroll is out there, please. And we need Dottie Wono, Patty Wono, and Marie Wilczynski. So Kim's not here, correct? Okay. Well, Kim, we miss you, but these ladies work very hard throughout the year to support St. Jude. And I think we're all familiar what St. Jude is all about. No family has ever turned away for a child who's ill because of people like this that we have here in Saddlebrook. Now, this year, I believe when I spoke with Dottie, she informed me that this group, with all their other helpers, they raised $80,000 in 1 year. Am I correct in that? And that's matched. And this year's goal coming up is $100,000. So let's get out there, support when you see the big white tents at Uncle Ed's, the golf outings, and I think Dottie's going to be our spokesperson. I was going to call on Marie, but she said, I'm bashful.
She's leaving if you call her Marie. I really want to thank everybody in Saddlebrook and everybody that has helped us raise this money. Without all of you to support us, we wouldn't be able to have these fundraisers and be able to give this money and to be able to support St. Jude. We're very thankful to the council and mayor for recognizing and for supporting and for always helping us out. So don't forget this year, you have to come out and really in support, because we got a big goal. We're going to try to hit 100 this time, and it does get matched. So, it's nice. Okay, yeah, we have, right. On October, we always run St. Jude Day at Ed's Tavern. You've probably seen the big tents and stuff out back. Well, for $25, 2 of you can come in, get a shirt, eat all you want to eat, because it's all fresh food. We make it all day long. It's almost, from 12 o'clock to about 6, we serve all day long. The ambulance corps is always with us. They do hot dogs, hamburgers, and everything else. They help us out, too. They're, just as strong as supporters as we are. And we have a tricky tray kind of thing that, you have all kinds of different prizes that you can win. And all of this, like I said, gets matched. So it's a fun day, everybody has a good time, and sometimes people go home with a couple of goodies that they wind up winning. We also have a golf outing. It's going to be June 20th, if anybody's interested. It's at the Knowles Country Club. It's $175 for the whole day. It's breakfast, lunch, and, breakfast, lunch is kind of like you take at the turn, and then a big dinner. And we also have gifts for everyone. You all get a shirt, everybody gets a hat, and it's a real fun time. And if you're a golfer, you'll love it. It'll be a lot of fun. And then all year long, we do different fundraisers. You'll see them, like a lot of times at Ed's, they have a lot of things going on. So this is what we do, and we do it for St. Jude. Thank you.
I am proud to present you the certificates, but additionally so, it was Oscar on TV the other night, so I thought for the women of Saddlebrook, they deserve Oscars for all their volunteering efforts. So here you go, ladies. Here's your Oscars, Patty. Dottie. Marie. Not even out in the car. Okay, and this one's for Kim Carroll. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, ladies. God bless. Okay, our next project also involves children, a little different venue. And I would like to call up Eleanor D'Angelo, Pam Medea, and Jeanette Hall, please. Many years ago, and I'll let them tell you, about 20, they thought of Project Graduation. And whether, for those who do know or don't know, it was a project to keep the youth of Saddlebrook safe by having, after graduation, an overnighter. And it started with the PTA mothers, and it continues today. It's a very, very large undertaking, but these three ladies are responsible, and I think they deserve a round of applause because this is something that's perpetual.
I just want to thank you for recognizing Jeanette Hall, Eleanor D'Angelo, and myself for the first project graduation in 1995. As mothers, we love our children, and what a better way to keep them safe on their night of graduation than with project graduation. And we are thrilled that this tradition is continuing.
All right. I just wanted to say thank you, and to Jeanette, because Jeanette was the cement in project graduation. Thank you, Jeanette. You're welcome. That's it.
Thank you, ladies. Hang on for your certificates, please, and your Oscars. Pam? Jeanette, you get an Oscar. So to all the local businesses, these are the ladies that started it, and they solicit the businesses to help collect the money. Is anyone up to date on about how much it's been costing? Yeah, I think it's way up there, 50, 60,000, and a lot of it is donations. And
you know, it was hard because we didn't have any money. We just decided to do this. And we laid out money and got money in, and that's how we started it. It was just like maybe 7,000, but back then it was a lot, you know.
20 years of inflation.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I am too. It's
And
the greatest.
I always feel pride when I see, I go into a business, you used to have the basket,
Yes.
but I always think to myself, my goodness, they're still doing it, so, yeah.
Saddlebrook's blessed to have you.
Thank you.
God bless you and your family. Our next woman in history is Jennifer Miller. Jennifer, please step forward. Sarah, come on up. Sarah, come on up, Sarah. We have a part. This is our Girl Scout troop. Again, women helping children. Patterson Library needed books, flooded out. This lady took upon the thought of, I'm having a book drive. Mayor, can you meet with the girls? We sat here on the floor, we had a meeting, drew up posters. Sarah, do you remember what was the original goal that the girls set out?
We only wanted to raise 500 bucks.
500. They had posters, they had boxes spread throughout the businesses in town, the public buildings, and Jennifer, how many?
We ended up collecting 27,187 books in only 3 weeks, in a 3-week time frame. So what we were able to do was completely rebuild the Patterson Public Library from the 10,000 books they lost in Hurricane Irene. And in addition to that, give each and every child in Patterson that wanted it a little library to keep in their own homes so they could read and reread books. So I just want to thank everyone that contributed and took time out of their personal lives to go and get a book, whether it was one book, 4,000 books, however you donated your time in any way. The mayor and council were a great help. The record paper, there were authors, there were people from all over New Jersey, the Saddlebrook Public Librarian. Whoever took that moment to stop and donate and help, you helped change the lives of many, many children, and you helped make the world a better place, and I just want to thank everybody and thank the mayor and council for this. Oh, there were 6 girls in our troop. They're all right here, and they're 9 and 10-year-old 4th graders at the time, and it's Troop 4324 in Saddlebrook. And thank you so much for this honor. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I would also like to add that, sweetie, the girls, I think, had even a greater experience in the giving, because now they were exposed to the thankfulness. Patterson invited us up to the Brownstone.
Yes.
We had a lovely dinner in their honor. The record had this poster displayed there, and the Girl Scouts themselves, our Saddlebrook Girl Scouts, remembered when they saw this photo, they remembered the child who they gave the book to.
Right.
So it was a great inspiration. And then from there, Hackensack Hospital invited them to 2 other.
The Literary Guild gave us an award for the Literary Guild for Service Unit of the Year, Hackensack Hospital and the Union Conference Center. It was just a windfall of wonderful experiences. I'm quite sure the girls, and I will never forget. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Wait for your Oscar.
Oh, thank you. I'm very excited. Thank you very much.
God bless.
Thank you
Give my
very
love
much.
to the rest of the girls.
I will. Thank you.
I had a ball with them. What a wonderful experience for myself. Okay, our next person I'd like to call up is Monica Maniscalco. Monica's a super special lady, and I couldn't help but let this opportunity pass by. This year, Monica, with her husband, started what we now have in Saddlebrook, Angel Soccer. Those are for our rainbow children, I call them in my heart. And they went many Saturdays, and it was open to out-of-towners. And I have to tell you, by virtue of my personal experience, because Monica is so humble, it was amazing to see, and this was coordinated with the high school. Vinny, who's our coach for soccer? I'm sorry? Christopher, I'm sorry. James, do you want to come up? Okay, Christopher Alfieri was there with his soccer team from the high school, and it was a one-on-one interchange. Now, really, they started this 2 seasons ago, but they were working with Fairlawn. And this year, they went out on their own in Saddlebrook at Avon Park. It was so inspiring to see those young adults and children in wheelchairs get up, accommodated. Even if they were able to kick the soccer ball from here to the middle aisle, that was tears to your eyes, God's blessings. And they worked hard. They even this year had a pizza party. They had shirts. I mean, they did it all the way like this was a professional, very professional TV group. And I love you dearly for it, and I know the parents did. And it's a growing growing part of Saddlebrook once again. Monica, also, I have to congratulate you, too. And here's another issue with the children. Monica decided to go to St. Philip's and start a religious class, okay, for the Rainbow children. I did not participate in those, but I had a few people, residents, come up to me with tears in their eyes to say that their daughter and son had never been able to attend any religious classes because of their challenges. Monica took it upon herself to start it. She'll let you know on the attendance, but these parents had tears in their eyes because they saw their children go down the aisle of St. Philip's receiving communion. So I think in my heart, to your heart, Monica, you're wonderful, and I know there's a lot more that's going to come out of you, and you have the support of James, your husband, and your 2 children.
I'm so humbled for this nomination. You do this for your children because you love your children, you want to make a difference, you want to be part of the solution and not part of a problem. And we were blessed with 2 children, and one of them just happened to need a little extra. So with the support of my husband and our town, really the extended family, we were able to create the program. Thank you to everybody who supported that. But our program actually had gotten so big that we had to split off between Fairlawn and Saddlebrook. So that's why we ended up splitting off, because it just became that big. Right now at St. Philip's, we have 12 students in the class, 4 of which will be doing their communion, 2 will be doing their confirmation. And for a lot of the parents, it truly is a miracle that they will be accommodated with their needs in a special ceremony with their families. And, like you said, Mayor, they'll be walking down the aisle. So, thank you to all of you who've supported us when we've asked for donations, or just when we've asked just for a little patience. So, thank you very much.
So, good night.
Thank you. Would you like to take Mommy's trophy? Yes? Okay. There you go.
She's very good at that. She's so humble.
Thank goodness she's not bashful. That's because her parents love her so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Grand finale, Donna McKay. Step forward, please. Come on up. Donna. She has no speech. We'll see about that. Anyway, Donna McKay was nominated for excellence, mom excellence, wife support excellence in Saddlebrook Recreation, football and wrestling. And when it was stated earlier around this room, it always takes a good woman behind a man. So somebody whispered in my ear, and no offense to the commissioner of the football and wrestling, but I had heard that if it wasn't for this woman, the success and added success of those programs wouldn't be where they are today. And Donna, I know you from Yo Big, no mom, everybody, the family, and it's nice to see somebody from Saddlebrook still here that really, really cares enough to help her husband, who is out there teaching leadership, supervision, and teamwork. And this lady was a great, great, great part of it, including all the pizza parties, the last minute, this and that. But Donna, we love you, and you deserve so much more than what you're getting on a borrowed realm. Our trophy place shorted me by 1 trophy, and it was Donna's. So in my office, I was presented with the soccer trophy for the girls' travel.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So she doesn't leave here empty-handed. I'm loaning her my soccer trophy, and I don't think Vinnie would mind, right, our commissioner?
No.
And we'll just switch out when the time comes.
That's fine.
Okay?
That sounds good. I never had a sports trophy before. I never really played anything. Thank you very much. Thank you.
God bless you. God bless the family.
No, that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all those that came and the families and everything.
Okay,
We are blessed.
And we're going
God
to take
bless
another everyone. 2 minutes. People want to enter, exit. Back to the regular meeting. I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public. I'll make a motion. Mr. Conti with a motion, second by Ms. Mazer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Unanimous. Meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wish to address the council, please go to the podium.
Good evening, Mr. Council President, Mr. Council members, Ms. Mayor, and community of Saddlebrook. Tonight, we sworn in 3 new police officers, and I had an opportunity to make a few comments, but I neglected to make some that, in hindsight, I now would like to make. For quite some time, our police department was understaffed. We were used to having 34 members in our department. We went down to 22. 2013, we had 22 officers, and of the 22, 2 were on medical leave, so we basically had 20 officers. And I neglected to mention the fact that I like to commend and praise the police officers that are currently on our department for continuing to serve the needs of the community despite being understaffed. They maintained as best they could the service to the community, and I asked the community, when you called for an ambulance, when you called for police service, you know, we may have been maybe a couple minutes late. We may have been on time just like we were when we were at 34. But the police officers that currently serve this community, I want to praise and I want to acknowledge for continuing to do what's right and loyal to their mission and service to the residents of Saddlebrook. And I think that was important to say. I also want to thank the Mayor Council and Director Lou D'Arminio for doing what's right to fund additional police officers. We funded 3 last year. You funded 3 this year, and the 3 will now join us. So now our ranks are up to 28, and I'm comfortable with 28 that we're going to continue to not only provide the services that this community expects, but what they deserve. And I want to say that, you know, we've had our differences in the past about, you know, trying to come to a conclusion about where we're going with the table of organization, and I know this is a work in progress. It's still going on, but I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for what you've done to create a better police department, to add more to our staff, because it is so important to do what's right for our community and serve their interests, and I thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, and you should have interrupted me, but my name is Robert Kugler, and I've been a member of the community for 52 years. I love this town, and I'm always going to work for you. God bless you.
Any other member of the public wish to address the council?
Larry Ratajczak, 92 Claremont Ave. I also would like to thank Chief Kugler, Deputy Chief White, and Public Safety Director Lou D'Arminio, who did something in 3 months that the mayor and the council neglected to do for the past 3 years. Is hire police officers and get the town back safe. I don't know what the problem was, but like I say, I know it's an election year and everybody will be sticking their chest out of what they did and how many police officers we hired and stuff. But the town did struggle for 3 years, as the chief has said. That's all in the past. Hopefully we get on the right track and we get this TO back up to 34. I spoke to Mr. Halco on Tuesday, and I just want to bring it up again about when he shut down the meeting to the public. And he said he feared for the safety. If Mr. Halco feels that way, I don't think that he should ever be put in that seat there to be in control of the meeting. Because, like I say, we're at a meeting, it's an open forum, and like I say, I consider myself a gentleman, I consider the attorney a gentleman. And just because voices are raised and people don't agree, you can't shut people off. If you're gonna hit the panic button like that, you should be sitting out here. And hopefully in November, you're sitting out here. I asked the business administrator on Tuesday, do you have the ordinances with you, Mr. Lodica, through the chair, to the business administrator, with the health insurance?
Defer to the township attorney?
I don't want to defer to.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm deferring to the township
business
attorney.
administrator, who, that's what you're paid to do, right?
Well, you're asking a question, and...
You asked both of us.
He's referring it?
He's the health benefit, you're talking about an
I'm
ordinance?
asking him tonight if he brought with him the health ordinances that he's been so desperately and so diligently looking for the past 7 months and 3 years, or whatever, how long he's been looking for.
I do...
Did you bring them tonight? It's a yes or a no answer.
I do believe that Mr. Chakowski could address that.
I wouldn't, Mr. Chakowski is not our business administrator. You're confused. He's our attorney.
I know who he is.
And I'm not asking the attorney. I'm asking the business administrator who's in charge of the town ordinances and the town of the records and the clerk and everything else that he gets paid to do. Now, if he needs Mr. Chakowski to hold his hand to do that, we got the wrong guy sitting in that chair, too. I am asking the business administrator.
And since
Is there
I'm
a
running
problem with that?
I'm running the meeting, and I
Okay.
will defer
But
that
you
to our
can't
business
speak for
counsel.
Mr. Lodica.
Right.
I am speaking to Mr. Lodica right
Through the
now.
chair, and I'm directing that question should go to
So in
legal
other words,
counsel.
when I walk into town hall tomorrow, I'm gonna see Mr. Chakowski sitting in that chair.
You may.
I may. Is that a sarcastic or is that a real?
Yeah, he could be there.
He could be in it and be
Sure.
our business administrator.
No, he won't be the business.
No, but I'm just saying that, Andrew.
Right.
You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
You know,
Real, don't
it's
be
a,
sarcastic.
I'm not being sarcastic.
Yes,
Your
you are,
question,
because you know
your
you will
question
be
is
in that
like,
chair.
did you stop
I don't
beating your
wanna
wife?
argue with
There
you.
is
I don't wanna
no,
argue with you.
there is no answer.
Andrew,
I'm
I
going
wanna-
to direct,
All right,
if you want an
refer to
answer,
the
I'm
public
going
and
to
I'll see
defer
if I
to
like
Mr.
the answer.
Chakowski in regard to an ordinance. You asked about an ordinance.
Right.
He's our legal counsel. Ordinances are legal.
Is your question is that, is there an ordinance that specifically
Did you
has...
bring them with you? That's what I asked for on Tuesday. I said, bring all healthcare ordinances.
I've
From-
brought some salary ordinances.
No, I didn't ask for that. What, do you guys understand? What's the difference
Well,
between salary
may-
and health?
Maybe you should listen to the answer.
No, maybe you should listen to the question. I'm not
All
speaking
right.
about salary.
Mr.
I don't want
Simalu-
to.
Mr. Simalukas, since Mr. Ratajik does not want an answer, fine.
I want an answer on a health ordinance. No one mentioned the word salary. And if you think you're going to go around and create the smoke screen, what you've been doing for the past 4 years, it's not working.
Well,
It's not working.
Mr., do you want an answer to your question?
Yes.
All right. Does that mean that you're going to be quiet and listen to the answer and not interrupt?
But I don't want you to go off on a 10-minute tangent, so you take my time up. I'm
Well-
just asking you for.
Would you like him to answer afterwards? So you can continue with any kind of comments you want.
Go ahead, do it. You know what I would like to ask though first? Last meeting at the work session, we did go out of order, and you announced that we were going out of order. You had the lady from the railroad come up here.
Yes.
Then we went into closed session, we sat out there for a while, we went home. Then you brought a resident in here, and you let him speak. Now, why was he allowed, if you were going out of order, you know what I mean? Can we get up and speak after the meeting is done? And like I said, can I make an appointment with you to have a one-on-one with you?
We
Because I
reopen.
would do that.
We reopen the meeting after closed session.
But that's never done before, and we've asked for it to be done in the past, and you didn't announce that before the meeting. See, you have a problem with batting out of order, because you did the same thing when there was nobody here that
We-
time, and you,
Just transparency, we're going to go out of order tonight. just so
we
you know.
are.
Sure.
So we can come back up.
No,
Well, then how are you gonna go out of order?
we're going to go after open, and the meeting is open to the public. We're going to do council comments instead of waiting to the end.
Right.
And mayor update.
Okay,
That's the difference.
That's fine. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Chakowski.
All right. If your question is there a specific ordinance
Right.
that covers health benefits? The answer is no. But for 40 years, if perhaps not longer, the salary ordinance, which is in Chapter 41 of the code, indicates that positions, employees, officers, and police department officers are subject to the salary ordinance.
Good question.
And the
Does it say
salary
council?
ordinance indicates that those positions enumerated, which include the mayor and council, get the benefits that are set forth in the white-collar
Okay.
contract. Just let me finish. In 2012, there was an ordinance that was established that became an amendment to Chapter 41, which eliminated health benefits for any part-time or elected officials going forward.
That was to protect them.
That was the
That was
policy.
to protect them and knock our
See,
petition
you didn't
out.
listen to me.
I know
Larry.
where
You
you're
let me-
going. I
you
know
let
where
me
you're
finish.
going,
That's
but
the-
I'm pressed for
that's
time
the-
right now.
That's the policy.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Past present does not hold up in a court of law. You know that, I know that, okay? It does not, it's not gonna hold water, okay? Unless you have an ordinance. How can you amend an ordinance that doesn't exist? You have to have it first. Not what we did. You know what, like I say, I used to speed all the time on Route 80. I never got a ticket. For 40 years I spent. Now the cop pulls me over.
I see the deputy chief
Does-
for that admission.
Does that make right? Does that make it right now for him to give me a ticket? And I say for 40 years? You know what I'm saying? What you did for 40 years was wrong. And you have to understand that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Itajek, I disagree. What has been done by this town is not unusual.
No, it's not, because you need an ordinance. An ordinance
And
is
you
a
have a
law.
salary ordinance.
You don't,
which
but
is
you're
the law.
not covered. You're not covered under it. All right, let me ask
We
Mr.
disagree.
Simolo a question. You're a prosecutor in another county, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, are you considered an employee of that county?
It depends on which opinion you get. Under PERS, no, but under
Okay.
different
now,
regulations,
are you
yes.
entitled to benefits from that town?
Yes,
You are?
yes,
Okay, they give their part-timers and people.
yes.
So why don't you do us a favor and take the benefits from them?
I'm in the pension system. No health benefits, but I'm in the pension system.
So they don't offer health benefits?
No, you said benefits, no health
Oh,
benefits.
Andrew, you know
Pension.
what I'm talking about. Pension is, you know what I mean? We're talking about health benefits.
No.
At $25,000
Me personally, no.
a year per family. That's what we're talking
Correct.
about. And that's what, like I say, Mr. Halco, Mr. Conti, and the mayor here said they weren't going to take. And they were going to give this tremendous savings to the town, which we don't see. Okay? And like I say, Mr. Chakowski, I do disagree with that you cannot amend something that doesn't exist. And that, like I say, that grandfather thing that was our petition, the residents' petition that they amended, the grandfather themselves in. Now, like I say, if you have some case law or anything like that you can prove to me, then we'll back down. But I don't think that you would hold water in court with that, because you can't amend anything. For 40 years, you're wrong. You're robbing a bank every week for 40 years. Does that make it right? And that's what you're doing. You're robbing the bank. You're robbing our bank. Every week you take the benefits. Every month you're robbing us because you don't have an ordinance allowing you to do
We
it.
have adopted salary ordinance every year that indicates that.
But you told me that they're covered under a contract last month. They're not covered under anybody's contract.
And it's indicated in the salary ordinance that all the positions in the salary.
They're not
ordinance,
employees. I
including-
beg to differ, Mr.
including the
Chakowski. And if they
administrative-
were, there would be an ordinance there. You got Mr. Lodica looking for 50 years of minutes. Like I say, the minutes are on the clock. That's the only place you're gonna find minutes, and minutes don't mean anything.
I think
Minutes
you just
don't
disagree.
mean anything.
All right.
Nothing.
Larry, thank you very much. Anyone else from the public wish to be
Like I
heard?
said, considering you took 6 of my 10 minutes, I hope we open the meeting up again.
Sylvia Zattarelli, 232 Lanza Ave. First, I'm going to piggyback on the benefit thing. I had thought I gave a fair proposal Tuesday night to hopefully maybe solve this problem once and for all, and I was wondering if that is going to be considered or taken under advisement.
As I said Tuesday night, that'll be discussed.
Okay. Secondly, and this is no way a reflection on our DPW. I'm not complaining about that. I just want to say that. I live across the street from Franklin School. Whether there's a lot of snow, which I know we've had a lot this year, or a little bit of snow, this is an issue. With the size of the street not being that wide to begin with, parking on both sides, and it being a two-way street with snow on top of it, I've had to literally go out and help the crossing guard back traffic up because you can't fit. And I noticed at Long and sometimes at Smith, they put the emergency no parking signs when there's snow. Is there any way we can consider that for the Franklin School area for the future?
I'll defer to the mayor on that, but that may be Board of Ed jurisdiction, but certainly the mayor can speak to the chief and the
If I
Board of
may.
Ed personnel over there.
Because I don't want to take up much of your time. What I did do specifically, I wrote the town, I checked, because I'm concerned about the safety of the children and our guards. I called up DPW, Pete spoke with Mike Calderon. We had them out the next day. In fact, our school marshals, the head of our school marshals, called me. Bobby Hicks, while I was out there, I was concerned about the mounds on Market, that the visual Lanza. I had Bobby go out there and speak to the marshals and ask that you use common sense for the safety of these marshals and visibility so that they could see the children. So Sylvia, truly, the effort was made. The caring was concerning for me, representing the town. And in the future, we haven't had a storm of this magnitude in 20 years. So we've learned another lesson. But truly, they were out there, and I had Mrs. Cerrone call and say, "What is it you want done? I don't understand." I said, "Get with all the marshals, DPW, that one day and clear it." So the attempt was made. If we didn't succeed totally, well, then next year, hopefully we don't get this snow. But that was a major concern of mine, and I did address
They
it.
did a wonderful job.
No, I did
It's just
address the
Whether there's
schools.
a lot of snow or a little, it's still an issue because of the width of the street.
I
It's not
understand,
that wide.
but it was addressed.
And then also, someone ran into the stop sign on Caldwell and Lanza, and it's actually stuck in the snow on the lawn of Franklin School. And people don't stop at that stop sign to begin with, so without it being there, and they're gonna slide right into my house, so I am concerned.
All right, we'll see if we can let them know tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sylvia.
Howard Frosty, 520 Bickett Street. Through the chair to whoever wants to answer this question. Back to the health benefits. Is it 20 consecutive years, or can you have a break in time? You're on the council for 10 years, you go away for 6 or 8 years, and then you get reelected. The time you were away, does that count? In civil service in New York City, it has to be consecutive.
My reading of the white-collar contract, where the ordinances, they piggyback off each other. There's no getting around that. But my reading of the white-collar contract is that it is not a consecutive term.
It's not a consecutive.
Not consecutive.
Can we get a copy of that? Can I get a copy of that?
Sure. The contract?
Yeah.
Sure.
And also, under New Jersey Civil Service, it's not consecutive. You need to have the number of years of service. There could be a break in service. It will not interrupt your ability to obtain a pension or obtain.
Is it a break of service because of a disability or an FMLA? Or can you just resign, go to work for somebody else, don't like it, and come back?
It's not defined as to any particular break in service. Years ago, when attorneys were permitted to be in the pension system, I was in the pension system, there was a break in service, then I was back in the pension service. They count the number of years in the system irrespective of the break in service, whether it's voluntary, involuntary, disability or not. That's the way civil service in New Jersey looks at that. They're looking at the total number of years of service, not that it's consecutive. You know, New York certainly may be different, but that's the way New Jersey looks at it when they're calculating pensions and benefits.
For instance, you could be on for 30 years, and 10 years you work, 15 years you went somewhere else, just get reelected, and you're in.
It's not necessarily just an elected official, it could be an appointed official. There are people that were chief financial officers in municipalities, left the field, went into private industry, and have come back. They don't lose any credit for what they've done in the past.
Okay, I have another minute or two left. How about a spouse or a spouse? For whatever reason, separation, divorce, whatever, does the spouse still continue to get the benefits? And if the spouse were to remarry, would that person get the benefits, and would the town pay for it?
Don't know the answer to that.
Could you find out?
Yes.
Because, well, I think what it depends on what the obligation of the other person was.
So let me ask you this question, and then I'm out of here. I'll reserve my time to you. Is there a case anywhere, Fairlawn, Saddlebrook, Lyndhurst, anywhere where that, or here, that has been happening, or that's been known to happen? Has somebody from the council had their spouse, or whatever, covered by insurance, that person moved on or expired, the spouse kept the insurance, who knows? Maybe even remarried, and now that person's covered, and we're paying for it.
Depends.
That's just hypothetical. I just want to know, everything here is hypothetical. The only thing that's not hypothetical is, and I really don't understand it, for being a civil servant for almost 25 years in New York City, is that you need to have consecutive years. I mean, I've never heard of anybody taking a vacation, coming back, getting reelected, and all that time counts. The time you were away counts. I don't know. But you'll get something for me?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I'm just asking.
We'll get it.
Maybe we can do a little research.
I mean, typically, if there's a matrimonial action involved, what would happen is that who has the obligation to provide the benefits? Once a spouse remarries and there are the benefits, and that person should be removed, we're hopeful to get the notice. Whether we're a private employer or a public employer, you get the notice. You know, I can't say, is there a particular case? Because matrimonial cases are going to be governed by the judgment of divorce. And whose obligation is it to provide the health benefits? If my employer provides the family benefits and I'm told I'm providing for my spouse, then that's what happens. However, if the spouse gets remarried and then that obligation ceases, the person should tell us we no longer need family.
Anyone else from the public?
How are you? Lou Burley, 476 Victor Street, Saddlebrook. I just got two questions. One, first question, last year at one of the meetings, it was said that Recreation got a $480,000 open space grant. And it's a matching grant, and it has to be, how long does the town have to match it? If anybody can answer
I'll
that.
defer.
December
The end of this year.
31st.
The end
We have
of
till
2014.
We have to match it, Lou.
I'm sorry?
Till the end of the year.
Have we
This
made
year.
have we made any progress?
That will, as soon as the budget is presented, introduced, and adopted, we will. I am going to tell you myself, I do not want to lose this grant. It's
I don't see it either.
$480,000. Pete and I met with the auditor and the CFO today, okay? We're looking into our funding. I believe we still may have $230,000 out there. Am I correct, Peter?
Yes.
The number we spoke of, that was for the donations that came back from years ago. So my plan when we talk about capital projects, and I speak to the council at a budget meeting, is to advise them of the 280, because I haven't spoken to them since I was with the auditor all day here today, and the CFO and Pete, and at the budget meeting. So that means then we're looking for about 200,000 more. And just for the public's sake, Pete and I put in for this grant money, very difficult to get. We were blessed and fortunate. And what the project would entail is the proper drainage of Veterans Fields and potentially the turf. Now, when you served as recreation director, you did a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you came up with numbers. And if I remember correctly, some of those numbers were over $1 million or just about a little under, Lou. Do you remember?
I think they had said $1.1 million, but he said that was subject, something with the artificial turf, because if you buy it in bulk with other
quality,
towns, not the
yes.
quality,
Oh, that's
if
right,
you buy it
bulk
in quantity,
purchase.
or what
Okay.
have you like that.
No, we're working on that. I don't want to lose that money.
Yeah, I don't either.
No. So
All
I'm
right.
glad you pointed it out to the council and the public. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting. Motion by Mr. Conti. Second by Ms. Mazer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Unanimous. Meeting is now closed to the public. Like I advised Mr. Ratajczyk, we're going to go out of order, and this may be a permanent change, but we're going to go straight to council comments and then mayor updates, and then we're going to go into the regular course of business with the ordinances and resolutions and such. Any council comments? And remember, we have old business and new business, so you can defer your comments to that if you want to talk about anything specific in terms of old business and new business.
Andrew, I'd like to make a few comments.
Sure.
Again, at the previous work session, you were absent, you came later, and I was nominated council president at that point to run the meeting. And both individuals, the township attorney, Mr. Mulestock, and the person at the podium were going at it. And I felt for the safety of the meeting, it was in the best interest to close it. Now, I cannot close the meeting by myself. I needed the support of the remaining council. It was unanimous by the council. There was a motion made. I didn't make the motion. I didn't second it. And all in favor, all four of us were in favor of closing the meeting to the public. So I guess they also thought it was in the best interest to close the meeting at that point. Okay, as far as the health benefits, again, I do not take the health benefits. When we ran 4 years ago, we put in a flyer for $256,000 that we would save the township. Okay, we didn't save the township $256,000. We saved them $180,000 by some of us not taking the benefits, some of us not taking the stipend, some of us taking the stipend later, some of us taking the benefits later. So, yes, we were wrong with the $256,000. It's $180,000 or $45,000 a year is what we saved the township by some of us not taking our stipends, some of us not taking our benefits, and some of us not taking either. Okay, so there is a savings there, again, of $180,000. That's all I have right now for council comments.
Anybody?
Yeah, I have a few council comments. I like to stay positive on everything. I'd like to congratulate our 3 new police officers and welcome them into the town. I would like to also honor all the women in history that were presented here tonight. It's very nice and it's good for the town. And one little tidbit on our high school wrestlers. I'd like to wish Chris Jacobson and Michael Andriano all the luck in the world. They punched a ticket, which is very hard to do, to get into a state tournament. Congratulations to them, and I wish them all the best. Thank you.
I have 2 comments. One, I supported Anthony. I made the motion to close because Larry and the attorney, you guys, not that I was feared, no way, but you 2 guys were out of control. You tried to settle you down, didn't want to hear it on both sides. So, a couple times, you tried to say, come on, guys, settle down, to the attorney, to Larry, settle down, please settle down, let's get order. Nobody wanted to hear it. So when he wanted the motion to close the meeting, I agreed with it because you guys weren't listening at that point, and he has to take control somehow. On the second thing on the benefits, yes, I am one of them that's taking the benefits, and because of circumstance, and I admitted to it, and I agree, and I apologize because things were out of my control at that point, or out of the circumstance. But anyway, I just have one question and you tell me next meeting. No disrespect to Mr. D'Arminio, and we all know, Larry, you're personal friends with Mr. D'Arminio. When he was up here as mayor, and he was taking the benefits like everybody else, and Mr. Rodriguez, everybody else, how come you never questioned it back at that point?
Okay.
Well, I'm just giving my point of view here. You guys are beating us up, and it's been going on for decades, for 40 years or more. People have been taking their benefits.
They didn't campaign on it.
You made a campaign for
Yeah, right,
Excuse me.
And I admit it, I made the mistake, and because things, no,
Okay.
because you don't
It's
know my
closed to the
circumstance,
public.
Larry.
Please,
But I
just let him talk.
I'm not asking, I'm just pointing a statement and a fact that when the administration was up here, that you never complained about benefits. You never said, hey, give them back. You never put a petition and saying, hey, we want our benefits taken away from you guys. Okay? And pretty much that's where I want to go with this. And, I just want to wish the best now for the police officer that joined us, and we did a wonderful job in hiring the police officers. We worked very hard with the mayor, the chief, the deputy chief. It took a long time to do, and we're getting our teal back up to where that belongs. Thank you. And the woman, and also the woman in this month of history. Thank you very much.
Rich, before you were.
No, Larry, please. Larry,
Okay?
That's not true.
couple of comments.
It is. Now, slow.
The meeting's closed to the public, Larry.
Okay, I just have to inform you.
But the statement that was made about the chief, the deputy chief, and Mr. Darminio being apparently solely responsible for the hiring of these 3 new officers in 3 months seems to be totally disingenuous. This has been a long process, and although they were instrumental and everyone did their part to say that the council and the mayor did nothing, and then all of a sudden in 3 years, some ray of sunshine came by, and that these 3 individual people were the sole reason that these 3 officers were hired is just wrong. Now, just we're beating the health benefit thing to death. I think Mr. Chakowski, for the public, I think Mr. Chakowski talked about the salary ordinance. Salary ordinance is there for anyone to see. And just, I do have a salary ordinance here. And this salary ordinance that I particularly have has Mayor Darminio on it, and Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Kugler, Mr. Cook, Ms. Mazur, Mr. Sedekase, and Mr. Halco, I think, because he had taken over for Mr. Cook. But it does say it, and whether you want to believe that this is relevant or pertinent, it says this ordinance confirms to provisions set forth within the white-collar negotiated bargaining agreement. Said agreement was duly executed by the Township of Saddlebrook and IBT Local 560. So it's there. There is a salary ordinance, and that contract talks about the benefits. If someone wants to know if there is an ordinance out there that says, in these words, the mayor and council shall get health benefits, it's not there. There is none. So if you say that's illegal, that's your opinion. There was a lawsuit that was filed 2 years ago, maybe last year. That lawsuit was in the middle of litigation. That lawsuit was abandoned, and the judge dismissed the lawsuit. So there was the opportunity out there. Well, I'm hearing people talking about money. However, I don't believe any money was ever paid. I believe that attorney was working for free, and since that attorney, I am now working for the firm that attorney is there. I don't believe that attorney was paid any money. But in any event, it was abandoned. Whether it was money or any other reason, there was the ability, like anyone has, if they have a problem, they could have recourse to the courts, and that recourse was taken, and then it was abandoned, and that case is done. It's over. The opportunity was there. It's not there anymore. Just as we had the moment of silence before in terms of firefight, I'd like to express my personal condolences to the family of Captain Barnes on behalf of all the council. It just, again, goes to show you that, especially our first responders, that every time they go out, they may not come back, and my condolences to the family and fellow firefighters and all first responders all over the place. That's all I have for council comments, and if there's no other council comments, I'll turn it over to the mayor to give an update on what's going on. Oh, I'm sorry, Flo.
That's okay. You're used to me talking so much. I, too, would like to welcome our new police officers, and I'd like to also reiterate what the chief said, that our force did an awesome job while they were understaffed. They really did, and we do appreciate them keeping our township safe. I'd like to also congratulate the women in history and the little women in history also, our young ladies who did an awesome job and made all those dreams come true in Patterson. The health benefit thing, yes, I do take it. Sylvia, you had a great idea, but it's easy for me to sit up here and comment on that because I am a single. Maybe somewhere down the road we can change that where, you know, the family, or maybe we can adjust somehow, you know, the contribution. In this day and age, it's tough to have a family plan, but again, I'm sitting up here as a single. I may not have, I might not have bring this up if I had a family, to be honest with you. But again, things have changed. It's a new world. I never said I would give them up. I never campaigned on it at all. So as far as my salary, I give it back. And I enjoy giving it back. And hopefully we can come to some kind of, you know, compromise somewhere. Yes, you did. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Also, John Cook asked me to pass this along to the mayor and council. He wants to thank everybody for the support for appointing him to Community Development Project. And he also wanted to thank everybody that reached out to him while he was in the hospital and what he's going under. And he thanks everybody for the support. And he just wanted everybody to be aware of that. And we're going to change it.
We're going to take another 2-minute break because we have to